Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and very good morning to all of you. I hope you're safe and sound. Welcome to Melly's Telegram classes. This is the grammar lesson for advanced level. If you remember, in the last grammar lesson we talked about relative pronouns. In this lesson today, we're going to talk about relative adjective and relative adverbs. Let's talk about the relative adjective first. We have only one relative adjective, and that is whose. It is a relative adjective and is used to introduce an adjective clause. In other words, whose is used to show possession of persons, places, or things. Remember, whose is always followed by a noun and is used instead of possessive adjectives. You have to use a noun after whose in an adjective clause. For example, I helped the boy whose wallet was stolen. In this sentence, the adjective clause is whose wallet was stolen. And the marker is whose. And if you see, after whose we have a noun. The boy whose book I borrowed didn't come today. Whose is the relative marker and book is a noun that is used after whose. Let's have some more examples. Number one, I know the man, his bicycle was stolen. As I told you earlier that whose is used instead of possessive adjectives. So you have to drop his and instead of that use whose if you want to make an adjective clause. I know the man whose bicycle was stolen. In this sentence, the adjective clause is whose bicycle was stolen. And the marker of the adjective clause is whose, which shows the position of the man, which is a bicycle. Number two, Ali has a car. Its color is white. In this sentence, the possessive adjective is its. Remove it and use whose instead of it. Ali has a car whose color is white. Let's talk about relative adverbs. We can use relative adverbs to combine a relative clause with a main clause. Remember, this is the last type of relative markers or markers of adjective clause. We have two relative adverbs in English grammar, when and where. Let's talk about the first one, when. When introduces an adjective clause to modify a noun of time. In simple words, when can be used after those nouns which talk about time. For example, the day when I graduate will be the happiest day of my life. In this sentence, the adjective clause is when I graduate. And the marker is when, which talks about the day, and the day is a noun of time. The year when he came here was 2000. When is talking about the year, and the year is a noun of time. Number two, where. Where introduces an adjective clause to describe a location. In other words, where can be used to talk about those nouns that talk about place. For example, this is the place where I work. Where I work is the adjective clause and it talks about the place, and the place is a noun of location. Where I work, you see, is an adjective clause that describes the noun place. Let's have some more examples. The place where I work is nearby. The house where I live is on the street. The store where she shops for groceries is expensive. Remember, if where is used, a preposition is not used. But if where is not used, a preposition is must. For example, the house which I live in is on this street. In this sentence, the adjective clause is which I live in. And if you see, we have not used where here. That's why we have used the preposition in to describe the house. But if you want to use where here, then there is no need of in. You can simply say, the house where I live is on this street. Do not say, the house where I live in. That's wrong. This concludes our session for today. Do not forget the exercise that you have to perform after watching the same video. Remember, this is just a short version of our today's lessons. The very lesson is taught in complete details in our regular classes. Thank you.